Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for being today's video. My name is Manal Hill. I'm part of the marketing team at the UTM Career Center. I'd love for you to introduce yourself and your company.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having us. I'm Kayla. I'm the university recruiting lead here in Toronto for our engineering development program at Veeva Systems, which is a software-based company working directly with the life sciences industry.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here and also being our gold sponsor for today's event. So even as we're talking, you can't see it, but a lot of students are making their way into the fair, and some students may feel invisible at these large networking events. So what advice would you give to them, or what is your cheat code to making their way around the event?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that the Career Center does a fantastic job of promoting the event in advance. So the students should have lots of opportunity to understand who's going to be at the career fair and who would be of interest to them to network with. So I do recommend students do some research in advance to understand who they want to talk to, what types of opportunities are they hiring for, and then approaching that booth, networking with the people at the booth to have a genuine curiosity about who they are, what they do, and why they enjoy working there. And then also end with an objective in terms of following up, whether that be connecting on LinkedIn or over email or applying to their job.
Okay, thank you. I'll definitely use that as I make my way around.
Yeah.
But typically with the hiring opportunities at your company, are there any entry-level roles at Veeva that students often overlook but shouldn't? And what are emerging skills you think will be essential in your industry over the next few years?
Yeah, for sure. Our entry-level associate software engineering position is, of course, our most popular and the one that we're hiring for right now, but also included in our engineering development program are the associate performance and DevOps engineer positions, which also play important roles throughout the full software development lifecycle. I will also mention the associate software engineer and test, or QA roles, are also very important in terms of understanding and being a part of the full software development lifecycle. Testing is a very important element, so that might be an overlooked role. That can also segue into software engineering in the future.
Okay, so you mentioned skills like software engineering and also these different roles that people might not know of, but are there any misconceptions that you think students have about your company or industry that you'd love to clear up?
Yeah, good question. So, Veeva is a cloud-based software company, but we service the life sciences industry. We're building cloud-based software for the life sciences industry. So I think a lot of people, when interested in joining Veeva or joining Veeva itself, they think that they need a background in life sciences, and that's not the case for the roles that we're hiring for in our Toronto office in EDP. So you don't need to have a background or knowledge about the life sciences industry to be a software engineer at Veeva. Of course, it is helpful to have an interest in perhaps some high-level information, but not required. It is something that you'll learn along the way in the role, and that could be interesting to support you in the work that you're doing here.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned all these roles and internships that are opening up, and typically what you'll see is hundreds or even thousands of applications, right?
Yeah.
So how can students show that they're a good culture fit when submitting their resumes or even going through the interview process?
Certainly. So at Veeva, we're looking for well-rounded candidates. If it's a technical role, which we're currently hiring for associate software engineers, you will need technical skills, but there are also some important behavioral characteristics that we're looking for, such as being a hard worker, a fast learner, a team player. Those are all things that you can exemplify throughout the application or interview process by talking about your extracurriculars, showing us beyond the classroom. What are you involved in? How are you involved in your community? That could be student government, it could be sports teams, it could be hackathons, it could be volunteer work, whatever the case may be. We just want to learn more about you and understand, are you not only a good technical fit, but a good behavioral fit to reflect our values as a company.
Thank you for sharing that. And lastly, so as an upcoming graduate myself and on behalf of many others who are graduating, I'd love to know what is one piece of advice you would give someone starting their first job out of school?
Yeah. For sure. I do recommend not being afraid to ask questions, to speak up and voice your opinion, as well as to network with others. Something that I see happening is that our new grads are networking oftentimes with other new grads, which is great in terms of building their network, but it is equally as important to network with more intermediate and senior level employees as well to gain a diverse perspective as you're building and growing your career at the company. So network with everyone, even if you're afraid to reach out to someone, I guarantee you they will be happy to help you in your journey at the company.
All right, thank you. And that question wraps up everything. Thank you once again for being here and enjoy the rest of the fair.